Hey guys, Tyler with Xtel USA here. Today we are working on a 2012 Nissan Maxima. We're going to be programming a smart key from our nitrous kit here. So we'll show you that process. So first things first, we gotta go to special functions, immobilization, and hit agree. And then we're gonna look for US Nissan. So now before we start this procedure, a few things to keep in mind. This is going to be a 4-pin code system. This is a slotted proximity key. So the slot is right here, right underneath the steering wheel to the left. Our key insert's right here. Now, a very common issue on these vehicles is the programming slot can go bad. And then if you run into a situation where the programming slot has gone bad, the programming process requires you to erase all keys in order to program. If this slot goes bad, you're not going to be able to reprogram the key. So the first thing you always want to do is check to make sure that this slot is good. The easiest way to do that is just to stick a key in the slot. The vehicle will start to chime and you'll get that key logo right in the middle of the dash there. So this slot should be good. We're going to go ahead and proceed. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to turn on the emergency lights. From the first screen in Nissan here, we're going to go to this button that says read BCM code and release the steering lock. The first thing we have to do is release the steering lock in order to erase all keys and start the programming procedure. So we're going to go to release steering lock and hit OK. It says switch ignition off. Ignition's already off. Do you want to bypass the pin code? Yes. Success. So now the steering lock should be a release. At this point, no keys would be programmed to the vehicle. From there, we're going to go back to the first screen. We're going to go to program keys by type, smart key system. Again, this is a 4-pin code system. And then this is going to be without slot, or actually, this is going to be with slot and push button. So it's either type 1 or type 2. Anything past 2009 is usually type 2, so we're going to start with that. Worst case, if that were the wrong one, it would just fail to connect, and then we would just go to type 1. But this should be a type 2. Actually, so we do have to switch the ignition on. So after you release the steering lock, you can put any key inside this programming slot and switch the ignition on. Whether it's programmed or not, the ignition will come on. So we're going to go again to type 2 now that the ignition's on. See, I missed this message. Switch ignition on, press OK. And now we're in the system and we're going to go to program keys. Do we want to bypass pin code? Yes. It says insert the smart key into the slot and then press the start button, switch ignition off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the ignition off. I'm going to take the key out. We're going to put it back in. And then I'm going to switch the ignition on, but I'm going to show you at the dash. There's going to be a key light flash 5 times and then go out. You see it in the middle right there. It flashed 5 times and then went out. That indicates that our key took successfully. Then we're going to switch the ignition on. We're going to take our key out. If you had any additional keys at this point, you would insert it and switch the ignition on, and that light would flash for each one. Since I'm only programming the one, I'm going to stick the same key back in, switch the ignition on, and then switch it off. And then you see the key light on the left side over there flashing. That means we're exiting programming mode. So just to ensure that it's exiting programming mode, I'm going to open and close the door twice. And then we're going to take our key out of the slot, hit OK, and our programming procedure should be complete at this point. I'm going to go ahead and unplug, close the door, lock and unlock on the remote work, trunk button works, and panic works. And now we're going to make sure that the car starts. I'm going to put my foot on the brake, press the start button, and the car starts right up. So that's all there is to it. In and out 4 minutes.